Transgender kids is a really harder thing. What's going on in Florida is, as my mother would say, close to sinful.
Because in the woke religion, anything that is biblical is sin. So Joe Biden, and it looks to be a clip of an upcoming interview that he's done with The Daily Show, talks about how what's going on in Florida when he's referring to the transgender thing and the laws that Florida's putting in place to empower parents when it comes to children transitioning without them knowing about it. Joe Biden calls that sinful.
Transgender kids is a really harder thing. What's going on in Florida is, as my mother would say, close to sinful. I mean, it's just terrible what they're doing. It's not like, a kid wakes up one morning and says, I decided I want to become a man, or I want to become a woman, or I want to change. I mean, what are they thinking about here? They're human beings. They love, they have feelings, they have inclinations that are, it just, to me, is, I don't know, it's cruel. And the way we do it is we make sure we pass legislation like we passed on same-sex marriage. You mess with that, you're breaking the law, and you're going to be held accountable.
Now, it's funny. Joe Biden is the same person who advocated for the murder of children and wanted that codified in law.
Further specific executive actions are you considering in response to the Roe ruling? And would you declare a public health emergency, as several Democrats are calling on you to do?
I'll be happy to go in detail with you on that. I'm having a meeting with a group of governors when I get home on Friday, and I'll have announcements to make then. But the first and foremost thing we should do is make it clear how outrageous this decision was and how much it impacts not just on women's right to choose, which is a critical piece, but on privacy generally. And so I'm going to be talking to the governors as to what actions they think I should be taking as well. And but the most important thing to be clear about is we have to change. I believe we have to codify Roe v. Wade in the law. And the way to do that is to make sure the Congress votes to do that. And if the filibuster gets in the way, it's like voting rights. It should be, we provide an exception for this, require an exception to the filibuster for this action to deal with the Supreme Court decision.
Joe Biden, the same person who said that any black person who's trying to decide between him and Trump, that person ain't black.
Long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
Joe Biden, who said that by getting the shot, you'll save the lives of other people.
I know vaccination requirements are unpopular for many, not even popular for those who are anxious to get them. My administration has put them in place not to control your life, but to save your life and the lives of others.
I'm showing you all these examples to show that in the religion of progressivism, Marxism, wokeness as we call it, anything that is biblical, anything that is based on biblical values is a sin to them. Because their sole purpose, their sole agenda is to transform, remake, destroy anything that is biblically sound, any Judeo-Christian values that created this country, that established this country, that propelled and elevated this country to where it is now. In the woke religion, it is to destroy that and replace it. And so they use race, they use gender, they use sexual orientation, they use all those things to drive a wedge, to separate, to unmoor us, to get things all emotional, feel sad for somebody because, oh, that person, they didn't wake up thinking that they were a boy or thinking that they were a girl. No, they were persuaded because of the school that they went to. They were persuaded because of social media. They were persuaded because the spirit of this age has convinced them to think that way, because they have been brought up in these indoctrination facilities known as public schools. But to the religion of the woke, anything that goes against what they believe, their orthodoxy, their dogma, they call it sin. It is a sin for them. Instead of true sin, which is missing the mark based upon what is found in the Word of God, no, to them, it's missing the mark of what's found in the Bible of the secular humanist, in the Bible of the Marxists, in the Bible of the progressive woke religion adherents. So Joe Biden, the prime minister of wokeness, is saying that trying to prevent the mutilation of children before they truly even know what they want to do with their bodies, trying to prevent the mutilation of children is almost sinful. That is sad that the president of the United States will call that sinful, but yet drag queens dancing in front of little babies, in front of children with no clothes on almost, is not considered sinful. Up is down, down is up. Woe unto them that call good evil and evil good.